Okay, folks, I'm going to show you all how to make a custom Christian t-shirt with some spray paint and a stencil. Just got to get your blank shirt and you got to get your stencil. I got my trustjesusalone.com stencil here. I've made four or five shirts already. This is going to be like the fifth one. And like I said, I got the blank shirt here. I got my stencil I ordered. I got some fabric spray paint from Tulip. And get these shirts just from random stores for $1, $2, $3, $4, $5. Mostly a $1, $2, $3 shirts. But it's Steve from TrustJesusAlone.com. I'm going to tell you how to spray paint some Christian custom shirts. And the first thing you want to do is put a cardboard in between the front and back of the shirts in case you get any bleed through, like I just did on this shirt over here I just made. It didn't come out so good. I got TrustJesusAlone.com. And the cross came out perfect. The orange came out great, but when you get any kind of blue, too much blue, it bleeds through real easy. I noticed. It's, with this kind of shirt, I never had too much bleed through before, but I'm going to try the orange and blue again. But I'm not going to go so heavy on the blue. But the first thing you do is put that cardboard in between. Make sure you got it centered. You find out exactly where you want to be. You get this centered on the shirt, maybe 4 inches down, and that's basically probably I got about 3.5 inches down, and it's centered on the shirt. Let me center it a little better. Sometimes it's good to measure. You look like you got 3.25 inches on this side, and about 3.25 inches on the other side. Next thing, what you want to do is just start putting some paper to protect your shirt, kind of under the stencil, so the paint doesn't blow under that paper onto the shirt. And that's all you got to do is to start this procedure up. Get your paint, pick your colors. I'm going with blue and orange on a light blue shirt. I think it should look great. But we always get the gospel out that you're saved by the blood of Jesus alone, without anything, without a commitment, plus is trust the blood of Jesus alone, plus nothing. And because salvation's a free gift, and we're not under the law. We don't listen to the 12 apostles. We're not the Jewish people under the law back years ago. We're under the gospel of the grace of God that the risen Jesus gave the Apostle Paul, that you're only saved by Jesus' blood without the works of the law. And I like to put the socket right here to make sure that the stencil doesn't move when you're putting the paper under it. As long as you don't go under that stencil, and what I'm going to do is paint the cross first. And so I'm going to weight down around the cross a little bit. I might just cover up since I don't want any blue. I'm going to put the cross is going to be blue, then I'm going to do orange and blue. And what I'm going to do is the orange first, because you can't have any blue on this fabric and think you're going to put orange over it. So I'm going to put the orange down first, so I know that the orange is going to be just above that cross. So I'm going to cover that cross. I'm going to put orange there. But what I'm going to do is make sure no blue is going to be down first. Because if you get that blue down there, you'll never put the orange on it. So what I'm going to do is just do the blue first. So I know the cross is going to be blue. And no, what I'm going to do is the orange first. The cross is going to be blue. It's going to be orange, blue, blue, orange. I think I'm going to do it the other way this time. I'm going to actually I'm wiping some of this excess paint off this metal from the last shirt that I just did with some blue and orange. I don't really want a bunch of paint lingering on this thing if I don't have to have it here. So I think I'm going to go blue, orange, blue, orange. So orange at the top and orange at the bottom. Orange at the bottom and orange at the top. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put on my mask. Orange at the bottom, orange at the top. Got to keep that straight. Orange at the bottom. I'm just going to cover this up halfway just to make it easy. Orange at the bottom. And I want to weight this down because I want to make sure I get no bleed through on this. I want to see that stencil flat. That's the key to this. Look at that stencil. Make sure it's as flat as you can get it. See that? And make sure this is straight. I might have to slide this down just a little bit. Hold that stencil. Get this midway between these words. Hold that stencil. And maybe just a little more, in fact. Like I said, you've got to keep that stencil straight as you're moving this piece of metal here. So now I'm going to do orange at the top, bottom, and orange at the top. So here we go. I don't want to be too heavy with it. And I want the weight of that metal and the stencil to be pressed down tight. I don't want to see any parts. So here's the secret. You're running out of paint here soon. So here we go. Orange at the bottom. That looks pretty good. I don't want to bleed it through, so that's the last way. One more. I don't want to put too much. I'm going to take this off, and I will put orange at the very top. Like I said, always worry about that stencil that it's never going to move as you're doing this whole procedure here. So lift this up. See how it's wanting to stick? That's bad. So orange at the bottom. Now I want orange at the very top, so I have to cover this. So I really don't want to use this. I ought to have multiple pieces of metal here, and I will use this other one here. So now what I'm going to do is cover all this up and put orange at the top. So like I said, like I always say, as you're holding this stencil down, move these out of the way so I can lay this other piece of metal down, and then I'm going to put these back down there. But I got to I'm going to keep this line straight. Orange at the top. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go, I don't want to move that stencil. So I look down and make sure I didn't move it. And where do I want to go with this? Halfway through the E. So I'm going to go like this, halfway through that E. And I'm going to weight this down good. And I'm going to put orange at the top. And then I'm going to do the blue. So light. Put a couple more stencils down. Ensure this looks good. And let me spray some orange. And then I'm going to spray some blue. Wrap this up and show you all how this is going to look. Okay, here's some orange. And I don't want to go too heavy. See, sometimes you knock those over. They're kind of... I don't want to go too heavy. I want to get a good color, but I don't want to soak it in. Okay, so there you go. Now, holding that, making sure that stencil doesn't move. Move this metal. Put it aside. And then I'm going to spray the blue. See, it wants to stick to that stencil. So, because that stencil's full of paint. So I got to hold this stencil down. Oh, that's real bad. That's no good. See, that's from the last job. Now I'm getting paint everywhere. We're going to see if I can salvage this somehow. That stencil is full of paint, but I managed to keep it in the same place. And now what I got to do is basically cover that orange up and spray blue right in the middle. So what I can do is I really need to go ahead and just cover this up here. Actually, I don't need to cover this. What I need to do is cover the orange at the bottom. See, this is very bad sticking now. What I got to do is, see, this is getting bad. It's when you're doing it for the first time and you got a bunch of stencils or something. But if I cover this orange up here and make sure I got it covered good, see, the stencil wants to move because it's very, very sticky. So if I could just slide that up to cover that orange better and then hold this down. And it's very difficult at this point because that stencil is so caked up with paint from a shirt I just did. So sticky that now I need something to cover the very top. And just try to do my best to finish this nice. I'm going to put some paper over there. And I'm going to spray paint. I really need some metal. So I'm going to cover this up with metal halfway through that E. Like this. And I'm hoping I didn't bleed through too much and ruin this design here. So there we go. I'm going to try to line this up good. Weight this down. And spray some blue. And then I got to get the cross sprayed blue. And we will be done. I'm going to shake this can up. See if I can finish this job without it bleeding through and looking very bad. Might just be this type of shirt. The first couple shirts weren't so thin like this. Yeah, the first couple shirts were not so thin. So we're going to see. That's a light. That's pretty light. Let's see. I don't want to really put too much more than that. So if I can get this off of here quick before it sets in, then spray the cross and this shirt will be done. I'll show you all how it looks. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Comment on the video. We love to get the gospel out. That's why we make these shirts, so that people can, in fact, I can lift this all up like this now. Because, oh yeah, I gotta do the cross. That's right. Got to do the cross. So I really don't want to lift this up yet. So let me try to put it back down in place. And just weight this down in the middle. And try to just pull the rest of this off. So I can do the cross. And without moving that template. See? Now, I'm going to take this off of here. Now, spray the cross blue. So one more time. I gotta cover the orange up and basically cover the orange up, and now I don't want to ruin anything here, so what I'm going to do, like I said, cover this orange here like this real quick, and spray paint that cross blue. I need it up a little bit more. Just weight this down right here. Weight this cross down a little bit. Spray that blue. We're going to see how this turned out. But of course, it's easier if you start with a clean template, fresh metal that's dry. Oh, it's much easier. But this is not easy. This is because everything's sticky. There we go. That's all I'm going to spray it. Like I said, I'm trying not to saturate the shirt. So we're going to take everything off, and we're going to check this out. Let me wipe my hands a little bit. I'm going to be touching that shirt. Oh, I really should wash my hands before I touch that shirt. But let me get this off so I can show y'all. I can lift the stuff. I can separate this from the template. Take this off. Oh, it did bleed through a little bit. Wow. Not so bad, but that kind of ruins the shirt. You bleed through anywhere. But there it is, folks. TrustJesusAlone.com. The bottom looks great. Looks pretty good. It didn't. The blue did move over a little bit. The cross came out perfect. But it's basically just a learning. See, that's definitely bled through up there. Maybe I didn't shake it enough, and it was kind of runny to paint. Maybe I just sprayed too much in that section. But you can kind of get an idea that it does come out pretty good. I think you got to have a thicker shirt. This type of shirt is a little different. It's very soft, and I think it's very thin. It's not real thin, but I think it's thinner than the other ones I was buying. So there you go, folks. Just an idea how to do it. But the first one I didn't bleed like that, and the next 3 or 4 came out pretty good. Didn't have any of that issue. But like I said, this is a different kind of shirt. This is AW Pocket Cotton Aqua Inlet. But I wouldn't wear that one now. But maybe somehow I can fix that. I don't know. But I guess I could give it to somebody and it wouldn't be perfect, but they could wear it and have it say trustjesusalone.com. It may not be perfect, but maybe I get a pen and I go around the orange part of it, make it look a little better. And it won't be perfect, but maybe somebody that needs a shirt will wear it. Because somebody will still see that website. That's for sure. But like, share, and subscribe. I'll make some better shirts in another video. It's all a trial and error at this point. But keep looking up. Jesus is coming. Get on trustjesusalone.com. Get some gospel tracks. Win the loss, folks. And get saved by putting your faith in the cross alone plus nothing, because we're all born sinners heading to hell. You got to trust Jesus' blood. It's your only way of getting to heaven. God bless.